There is a phrase every soldier learns early. Hold the line. It doesn't matter what branch, doesn't matter what country. The idea is the same. You plant your feet. You face what's coming. You do not run. That is not stubbornness. That is training. Years of it, designed specifically to override the most powerful survival instinct a human being has. So when I tell you that an entire Delta Force unit, America's most elite operators, abandoned their position and ran, I need you to understand what that means. These are not ordinary men. These are the ones other soldiers call when the situation is already hopeless. The ones who go in when everyone else has pulled out. The ones who do not scare, and they ran. What they encountered that night in the mountains has never been officially reported. No after-action file, no incident number, no record it ever happened. But 3 of the men who were there have talked. Quietly, to people they trust. This is what they said. Eastern Afghanistan, November. Elevation 9,000 feet. The 6-man team had been inserted at 2200 hours with one objective: locate and observe a high-value target believed to be moving through a narrow mountain pass before dawn. Simple reconnaissance, no engagement. In and out. They had run 100 missions like it. Sergeant First Class Wade, not his real name, had been with the unit for 11 years. He had operated in 4 countries. He had seen things that would end most men's careers just from the paperwork alone. He described the first sign as a smell. Not gunpowder, not burning. Something older than both. Like the air just changed, he would later tell a former colleague. Like the mountain itself decided it didn't want us there. His point man stopped moving. No signal, no hand gesture. He just stopped. Wade moved up beside him and followed his eye line into the darkness below the ridgeline. He saw nothing but his point man, a man who had cleared buildings in Fallujah without blinking, was shaking. What happened in the next 4 minutes has 3 separate accounts from 3 separate men who were not in contact with each other when they gave them. All 3 accounts match. Something moved below the ridge, not with the sound of footsteps, not with the sound of anything that has a name in any military field manual. It moved between fixed positions in 0 time. 1 moment left of the boulder, next moment, right of it. 40 feet of open ground, no movement in between. Wade ordered thermal observation. The device showed nothing. No heat signature, no outline, nothing, but they could hear it breathing. Now, before we go further, I want to be honest with you about what we don't know. We don't have the names. We don't have the coordinates. We don't have a declassified file to pull up and read from. What we have is testimony, passed quietly between veterans the way these stories always travel. Not through press conferences and official statements, but through late nights and low voices and the particular way a man looks when he's describing something he still doesn't have words for. Skeptics will tell you altitude does things to the mind. Sleep deprivation, stress, pattern recognition running hot in a brain that's been awake for 30 hours in freezing temperatures. And they're not wrong that all of those things are real. But here is what the skeptics cannot explain. All 3 men independently used the same word to describe the moment the unit leader gave the order to withdraw. Not retreat, not reposition. Run. Wade said the order came over comms in a voice he had never heard his team leader use before. Flat, quiet, controlled in the way that a man is only controlled when the alternative is complete collapse. Echo 1, we are leaving now. Do not look back. They ran 2 miles down that mountain without stopping. 6 Delta Force operators, full kit, sub-zero temperatures, 2 miles. When they reached the extraction point, Wade said his team leader sat down on a rock and put his head in his hands. He stayed like that for a long time. Nobody spoke. Nobody asked what it was. Because nobody wanted to hear that their team leader didn't know either. I've thought a lot about what it means that these men have never filed a report. Part of me understands it. What do you write? Encountered unknown entity. Thermal non-responsive. Retreated at speed. That doesn't survive a debrief. That ends careers. But I think there's something else too. There are things the human mind experiences that language wasn't built to carry. Things that don't fit inside the systems we've created for making sense of the world. The mountains of Afghanistan have been called many things over many centuries by many armies who've tried to hold them. Every single one of those armies has stories like this one. Make of that what you will. I'm Shroud of Night, and this is one of the stories they don't put in the report. New stories every Tuesday and Thursday.